Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wrestling with the Paranormal. And today we're talking about the Warmister thing. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with the Paranormal.
Woo!
Gonna zoom us right in. Whoa!
Boom!
Whoa. I think I hurt my head there. Today we're talking about, as you can see, the Warmister thing. And you're asking, what the hell is a Warmister thing? I never heard of it. Have you heard of it before today?
Never heard of it before.
We're going to get right into that. And we have Le Disciple here with another story. And we're going to try and figure out if he's telling the truth this week or if it's another made up. So we're going to find out. And also, we have a clip from Austin Lee telling a little bit of an excerpt from his book.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. All right.
And at least we know that's true, right?
Is this a Wrestling with the Paranormal exclusive? You can't get this anywhere else.
It is. It's an exclusive.
Breaking content you can't find anywhere else.
You know what? We don't have the news thing anymore because it says it's different, so we don't have it.
Well, I think we're going to find out about that too. I think we're going to see some new graphics today. We're going to see some new features. It's going to be amazing. I've got a new hat on. Did you notice my hat is green? I got a different hat.
It looks gray.
It's gray-ish, but my old hat was a light gray.
We forgot to introduce myself. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm that ginger up, bubbly, paranormal son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Love it. I'm here too, the host with the most. You know me, and you know what I am, and you know what I'm not. I'm not blue. I'm not green. I'm not yellow. I'm Craig the Gray. Coming at you live.
Coming at you live. And you know what else we got today? We have George. Le Disciple.
Hey, there's George's
intro.
What's up, guys?
Hey, this is my George impression. What's up, guys?
No, it's like the Scream movies. Remember the Scream movies? And they're like, what's up? Remember that? What's up?
That was from the Bud Light commercials, right?
Okay, maybe it was from the Bud Light commercials, but there was in not the Scream movies.
They were in everything in pop culture at the time. They were in The Office. They were in everything.
The Scary movies. Scary Movie was like the spoof movies of
No, you had it right the first time.
Did I say Scary Movie?
Scary Movie was actual scary. I don't know. I'm confused now.
Scary Movie was a movie that was
a
spoof of Scream, and there was the guy with the ghost face, and he was like, "What's up?"
Yes. Those spoof movies are so bad.
They were really bad. Oh no scary voice impressions. That's what George said.
Okay, so since we frightened you and we gave you a little bit of chill, we started early today. Why don't we show you the retro video game of the week? Hey, Hulk Hogan, I'm going to kick your ass. You know why? Because it's time for the retro video game of the week. Hey, what's this game? Hey, it's Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you? Oh, who are you? Look at all these purple suits. Those are in the 90s, the purple suits. Who's this old guy? I've never seen him before. With Bart Simpson's friend or something. We got more purple suit guys. Yeah, I'm in the pet shop. There's a cat in the window. Hey, look, there's Mr. Skinner. I think they're just kids in suits. Triple suit guys. The one got a Matrix. Kick your ass. Go back to the Matrix. Wait, we got the fire department. We just gotta help me. Oh! That's not help me. He was trying to kill me. The fire department always trying to kill me. Alright, we're gonna kick his ass. He's like a mini boss, I guess. Stand a couple more times. There you go. There you go. There you go. Beat the crap out of this tree. The tree must be mad. Oh, God, beat it. Alright. Where's this Matrix, dude? Hey, hamburger. Look at the bowling ball. Oh, he's gonna wrestle something. Ah, his pants are falling down. Alright. Alright, he doesn't know. This is wrestling with the paranormal. So I'm gonna kick his ass, wrestling with the paranormal style. You know, if I could play a skateboard in the room with me every single day, I would. And I'd show them what I can do. Because, you know, I got a skateboard with me. Because blinking red, maybe it's blue active. So hang out with Homer too much. The plan. Alright, one more hit. And this has been the Retro Video Game of the Week. Did you play The Simpsons on the arcade?
I played the arcade, yeah.
The 4-player one?
The 4-player arcade.
Who did you pick?
I picked, well, Bart Simpson if I could be Bart Simpson. Bart Simpson? Simpson.
What is this, Mad TV where we got to change his name?
Simpson. But if that was already picked, I guess Homer would be my second pick.
Oh, Homer's my go-to. Screw
Homer's
Bart.
Your go-to? Wow. Okay.
Homer's the man. Yeah.
There was the 4-player Simpsons game. There was a 4-player Ninja Turtles game. You remember that one? That was good.
I think that the Turtles game was really based on. I mean, the Simpsons game was really based on the Turtles game.
Well, it could be. Yeah, I don't know what was the original, but then there was also an 8-person X-Men console or video game cabinet. Did you ever see that?
I did. That's
massive.
Crazy. Now I want.
I know. 8 people.
Put it in my basement if I had a basement.
It was like, I think it was 2 screens. I can't remember. I think it was 2 screens.
So it's time for another segment. What are we calling this again? Thrilling Stories with George Le Disciple.
Thrilling Stories with George Le Disciple.
Yes.
Wow, I like it. That's
there he is.
Here we go.
Thrilling one himself. Le Disciple.
Hello.
Hello. So you're going to tell us the truth this week, right?
Truth and nothing but the
Maybe.
truth.
Okay, what do you got for us? First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Craig, you good?
I'm always good. Always good.
All right. So what do you got for us this week?
Well, I have a peculiar story, but I must ask, before you play that retro video game clip of the week, did you insert the coin before playing?
No, I can't lie.
See, yeah. He tried to trap you there.
He
like,
did.
Are you gonna lie? Are you gonna lie?
Yes, it was
okay, this is the truth. This is the truth part of the podcast. Okay, so what are you asking, George? What are you asking?
I was wondering, since he didn't insert the coin, I was wondering if he threw some paranormal things its way so that it would play without having to insert the coin.
I'm not going to reveal my secrets.
Okay.
The kayfabe is alive. The kayfabe is real.
Kayfabe is still alive.
Real, yeah. We pretend that Canada Dry is really playing the retro video games of the week. Okay,
I am really playing.
he is really playing. You can hear his commentary. He's playing them. Yeah,
Ooh,
he's that good. He's that good.
damn,
See, I
he's
knew when
just
the
that.
last hit, what's that going to happen? One more hit, boom, he's dead.
Boom. How would he know that if he wasn't playing for
Exactly.
real?
Anyways, let's hear the story there, George.
Yes, back to the story. So, we start off with a family, and they've been living in this house for quite a few years. It's been like about 5 years. Their family has had time to grow a little larger. Um, it's a man and a wife and 2 children and an animal. And everything seems like it's been fine, no problems whatsoever for like the last couple years. Until randomly during the middle of the night, they just start hearing random noises going off. And first it's waking up the dog, and because the dog usually sleeps with them in their bed, and so she gets up, hears something, starts looking around the house, and then they just thought it was nothing, and she just goes on and does her business. But then the next night, one of their children is waking up and hearing noises and starts screaming or crying. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they continue to hear it, and until one night it wakes them both up. And so they're like, okay, so something definitely is wrong here. And there has been no evidence of no one trying to break in or anything. All their doors, their windows are locked. And everything seems normal, but they just keep hearing this noise and some paranormal stuff happening, like as some things being moved as where they weren't. So some things were left in certain places but being moved afterwards. But again, there is no evidence of anyone trying to like break in. Doors and windows are locked. Everything else seems fine except for these noises that are going off during the middle of the night that everyone in the house keeps hearing. And they just can't figure it out. And towards the end here, it just freaks them out so bad, they end up just moving from this place and putting it up for sale, for lease, or anything. And they just got to get out of there.
So they are terrorized by these noises, things moving around so much that they have to sell their house and leave.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's just they've been shocked so bad, but the reports it's been happening every night randomly ever since it started happening.
So there's
And
no relief for them. It just kept every night.
yes, every night. Because first it was the dog, their animals, and then their children, and then they started hearing it, and they couldn't find anything wrong with the house. Because the next morning after they heard it from the middle of the night, they went top to bottom, checked the house, roof, attic. Well, not roof. That's kind of dumb. From the attic all the way down to the basement. I set
roof.
myself up
Yeah,
there.
they are live. They didn't check the
You
roof.
gotta check the roof.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the sound? Is there any indication of what the sound is? What does it sound like? Is there anything?
I'd imagine it's kind of like a squeaking. Is that a word? Like a
It is
squeechy.
now.
It's just like a
The squeakers.
loud squeaking noise. Kind of something that sends shivers down your spine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's gonna make a kid scream, it's got to be pretty. Okay, so I'm changing the name of this segment right now. It is now Truth or Bowl with Le Disciple. So I'm going to ask you, Craig, is this a true story or is Le Disciple making this up?
I just looked up the word squeaking and Google autocorrects to squeaking.
So, someone was squeaking in the night and scared the crap out of everyone.
There's no such word as squeaking.
Okay. But answer the question.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the story is untrue. Now, there's no biographical details like when these people were born or when this is happening or where this house is. It's just a family somewhere. Is that right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's purposely leaving it out or purposely didn't research deep enough as part of trying to fool us.
Right. It sounds to me like just kind of a collection of different house haunting stories. Haunted house.
So are you saying it's bull or are you saying it's true?
I think it's based somewhat in reality. But
you can't get off the fence here. Either true or fake. Come on.
I'm leaning towards made up. What do you think, Canada?
I'm saying it's true.
You're saying it's true?
I'm saying it's true. Let us Bell.
Ooh.
Is this George's childhood? Oh, my God.
Let us Bell. Okay. What's going on? Who's right?
True or false?
Oh, I'm the one who has to choose.
No, choose. Okay, if he's choosing, it's clearly false. You can't choose if something is real or not. If you're choosing that it's real, I don't know how real that is.
I thought this part was just going to be a debate between you two.
No, you are telling us if it's true or false.
Well, regardless if it was, wouldn't I always say true?
Okay, you're not lying. It's true.
Okay, he's always going to say true. We're getting more information about this segment as we go on. So George is going to always say it's true. We need to keep that.
No, you're like honestly, if you're lying, you tell us, right?
Yes.
But that could be a lie. This is
Scout's honor.
Scout's honor. Oh, he's got to be true. Scout's honored us.
Okay.
I totally forgot how to do the symbol, but
you were a scout though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going on the information that every American citizen is required to be a scout. I don't know if that's true.
All right, George. We have to move along here. We got stuff to fit in, so we'll see you next week, and you'll have to come up with a story. Either it's true or it's false, and you got to fool us. So make sure you tell the story good if it's false.
And then you can decide if it's true or not.
No, you're not. All right, we'll see you later, George.
Alrighty, see ya. Oh.
All right. Interesting.
That is some.
Let's move on.
Some cutting edge content with that segment, I think.
But I think it's good. Like it'll add another element to the show now that we deciphered that he was lying all this time. Well, not. But
now that we've deciphered that he will always say he's true.
Well, the first little bit he was telling real stories because he's telling about the wrestling ones, and then I guess he ran out of research material, and so he's like making up stuff. Ass grabber.
It was a pretty good story, though.
It did. It was viral.
Okay.
So now we want to. This is our exclusive.
Exclusive clip.
Our friend Austin Lee. He's the original host of the show with me. Then he didn't have time to do it no more. Then I replaced him with the awesome Craig DeGray. But he had some crazy stuff happen to him all his life with paranormal. That's why we came up with the idea for the show, because I thought I was comparable to him, but no, this guy has lived a life. And so he's got a book deal. It's called Fight of Your Life. And there's going to be a movie out of it too. So here's the clip.
and he was terrified of his room. Would not go in his room. We couldn't get him to go in there for anything unless one of us were with him. And one day, a couple of months in, that completely changed, and we couldn't get him out of his room. And every time that I would go back there to check on him, he would push me out of this room and slam the door, and he would say, "Corey doesn't like you in here." So I would, I'd go back there and I would like listen at the door, and he would even know that I was there. He'd be like, "What do you mean he's out there?" And then I would like knock on the door, and he'd be like, "Corey told me you were just out here." He's like, you got to get out of here. So it would like weird me out. So I didn't know what to think. But my son had kept saying stuff about this Corey, and he would always describe him the same way. He said he was black, like he had been burnt, and had red eyes. So eventually, her and I started to do some digging, and we found a guy named Corey, and for the life of me, I can't think of his last name now. Robinson, maybe something along those lines, where Richardson, something with an R, but he had passed away and he had lived in the house. He was 18 years old, and oddly enough, he was in my sister and my cousin's class for high school. They knew him. So on his way back from church camp, he got into a wreck, had wrecked his car, and got trapped in it, and his car caught on fire. So he burned alive in his car. So, I remember telling my family about it because of all the things that were going on and the things that our oldest son was saying. And my sister and my cousin were like, "We went to school with this guy. I mean, he was a really good kid. I don't know why he would be doing, things like this, if that's really who it is."
Yeah, I don't think it's him.
Right. So
I don't think it's him.
Right. So things continue to happen and ramp up between my ex-wife and myself. It finally happened to me one day, and I would always have these like weird feelings if I was in the house alone. I would always feel like I was being watched, but I never had anything like experienced anything there other than just like getting the chills, like somebody's staring at me. But I was cooking dinner one night, and she was in the kitchen with me, kind of at the island counter. And then I turned around and was getting something off the island, and then all of a sudden we start hearing footsteps running in circles around us at the island counter. It was like it was running all around the island counter, and then we're both looking at each other like, "What in the hell is this?" And then all of a sudden, the kitchen drawer, the silverware drawer, started shaking right in front of me, like as I was standing there.
Oh, gives you chills hearing that story.
Wow. So that's just going to be one story in the book.
Yeah, that's just one little story in the book. You have books like that, right? So
it reminds me of Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, but this is true.
Paranormal Activity isn't true?
No.
I thought that first one was based on a true story.
All right, so let's get right into the main event.
Main event! Wait, where'd the crawl go? We had a crawl going down. What happened to it?
Oh.
The Warmister thing!
I had to remove it because I couldn't see Austin's name. So this is happening in Christmas of 1964. You have two police officers that were assigned to kind of begrudgingly. There were some break-ins in some farmhouses. Out in the outskirts of Warmister. And
where's that?
Where's that? Warmister is in the UK, right around Stonehenge area, in the county of, what was it? The county of had it on the tip of my tongue.
Wiltshire?
Yes, we actually have a friend that's in the wrestling leagues, from Wiltshire. But that's why I remembered it. Well, I didn't remember.
Lots of
You did.
spooky stuff in England. We know this from doing the show before.
Yeah. So let's get right into Stonehenge. Happens right there in Wiltshire, in Warmister. So there's already some mystical stuff going on there. There's a lot of wars between the civil wars between Scotland and England and all that stuff. But back to our police officers. I believe their names are what the hell are their names? I always lose their names. You got their names? That's Willie and Waycott. Yeah, that's right. Willie and Waycott. So they're assigned to go to the boony area of Warmister, and they're supposed to check in for some break-ins, and they get through doing their job. They're like, okay, we've done a few patrols. Let's head back to town, and we'll have a nice break. I guess go to a coffee shop or something. I don't know. And all of a sudden, they see, Willie slams on the brakes, and Wake Up wants to go on, and he sees Willie pointing up in the sky, and there's this strange light that is hovering above them, and it's a pattern of lights that are they look like a cross almost, and when the I guess that's a UFO of some sort, when it notices them, seeing them, it begins to take off. And Willie and Waycott, they decide to pursue it. And so they're pursuing this star-cross, and they're just bewildered. This thing is going so fast, and it's obviously playing mind games with them because they could easily take off at any second, right? So it's playing games with them, and eventually it decides to just poof out of nowhere, and it's gone, and they tell the story, and it's crazy. So Christmas Day or Christmas night. No, Christmas morning. That's right. Christmas morning in 1964. Mildred Head. She awakes to noises on her roof.
It's Santa.
Yeah, she's thinking Santa's here. Bring me some presents. But it's like twigs or branches being dragged around her roof. And she shoots up and she's looking around. She can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden, it turns into thud, like hail on the roof. So it sounds. And so she goes to the window, checks what it is. And it's a clear night sky. You can see the stars in the sky. And she doesn't understand what's going on. And the next day, in the morning, we have another person. Her name is Marjorie By. And she is on her way to Christmas Mass in the morning to go get the Christmas communion. And obviously she hears this strange cackling laughter. And she doesn't know what it is, but the closer she walks towards the church, it's like this thing is getting closer to her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting closer, and all of a sudden she gets hit with what she describes as vibrations, like shockwaves, to her head and to her shoulders. And she's almost paralyzed. She can't move forward. It's like some sort of force is coming at her, and she can't move. And she forces herself to keep moving, and she moves past it slowly, and then she just kind of runs and she goes and hides in the church. Now she gets to the church and she tells her story to everyone there, what's going on and what just happened to her. And one of the guys there works for the newspaper, so he prints her story, and 30 people come forward with similar stories to what she has. And one of them is from, where do I get that next story? Damn names. I need to highlight the names. Oh, Roger Rump. His name is, how did I forget that name? Roger Rump.
Roger Rump.
Roger Rump in the house. Roger
Rump or
Rump.
Bump?
Now, Roger Rump.
Rump.
Rump. Or R. R.
Wow. R. Mr. Rump.
Mr. Rump. Now, he had the exact same experience as our first lady, was named Mildred, where he woke up in the middle of the night. There's something on his roof. There's noises. I forgot to mention with Mildred, there was a humming right after the hail.
Right.
And it was so bad that she had to like just cover her ears, and it slowly started getting quieter, and then it subsided. And that was the same with Roger Rump. He had something moving on his roof, and then he had loud noises, and then the humming. The other thing that would happen would be from the soldiers at the nearby army base. They would report of hearing loud noises in the middle of the night, almost as if a chimney stack had crashed down. And you know how big a chimney stack is, right?
Right.
It had crashed down and shattered like all bits everywhere. But when they woke up in the morning, they went out to think that something was out there. Absolutely no damage to anything. But it was like some sort of crash. And
so the sound of a crash, but no evidence of anything crashing.
Yeah, and the feel and the vibrations of a crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what, like when you hear a car crash, you kind of feel it, even though it's almost a block away.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And and that's my account of the Warmister thing.
The Warmister thing. So 1964. This is going to continue into early 1965 in the area. The camp, by the way, was called Knock Camp. I thought that was kind of funny and interesting. The base. The base where the military is called the Knock Camp. Now,
is it a camp or isn't it?
It's a base. It's a base called Knock Camp. It's a weird name for a base.
I tell you, those English folk have some weird names for things. Roger Rump.
Roger Rump. If this house is humming, don't come a rumping.
Now, if he had a big ass, it would be funny. He just got this big ass. I'm Roger Rump.
Yeah, you are. Damn, that boy's a rump.
What about the daughters? The daughters, if you had daughters, they'd have a hard time. Cindy
like
Rump.
Little rumps. Little rumps. The rumplings. The rumbling gang.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I? So another one of the military officers, he reported a story. He shared this actually with the newspaper, that the major was driving and suddenly, and this is around the same time, January 1965, so just after Christmas, he's driving and suddenly his engine cuts out. So he's stuck in the car. The car's not moving anymore. And it starts vibrating. The whole thing starts vibrating. The chassis of the car is just like vibrating wildly. He's hearing this humming noise. He's feeling a pressure building up in the car. You know, like when you have like a migraine almost, or like a pressure headache, you know, like the weather pressure, you can like feel it. He's feeling that, and he's getting scared that like something's going on inside the car. It reaches this deafening crescendo. He like can't hear anything but this insanely loud hum. It's getting louder and louder and louder. All of a
That's
sudden
again,
it
right?
stops. Yeah, this is what the Warmister thing is. It's this sound that people are encountering. All of a sudden it stops. There's complete silence, and his car just starts again, and then he just goes on his way. Yeah. So what the hell was that, right? We've got more witnesses. It just keeps continuing into January. 5 Ash Lane is a house in Warmister. Witnesses. So the witness of this house said he came outside in the morning and there was an entire flock of pigeons dead on his front lawn. Yeah. So could you imagine you wake up and you walk out and there's a whole flock of pigeons just dead on your lawn? It's like something would have
I
to.
gotta clean those things up, right?
Well, it's like they would have had to all get attracted to your house, and then something killed them too. So it's really creepy to think about. Was it the sound? Right? Was it the lights in the sky?
Think of those pigeon funerals you got to have.
I think there's a level of animal where you stop having a funeral for it. You know, like
What's
you can have a funeral.
that level?
Well, I actually attended a rat funeral. I had a friend who had a pet rat. I did attend a rat funeral. So I guess it all depends on if you have made the animal your pet.
Okay, so if you don't know these pigeons, you don't owe them no funeral.
That's right. But if they were your pet,
or they came to visit you, or you fed them, that counts.
Yeah, maybe. I have a friend who has the same crow visit his house and eat out of a bird feeder. It's got like a weird beak, so he knows it's
if that crow died, you'd be a little sad.
Yeah, you'd be sad. I don't know if you'd have that's a gray area. If that's when would you have a funeral? When do you have a funeral for an animal? That is really
we're off track here by like.
But you're right. That's too many pigeons to have. You'd have to have one big funeral, I guess.
Yes, that's fair. You can have a big funeral for all of them.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what pigeon meat is called?
No,
Squab.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Do you know that there's a name for human meat? This is way off topic. Yeah. It's called. Yeah, it's called long pork.
I've heard that before. Yes.
Yes, that's what long pork is.
I forgot about it
because we have long muscles and our meat is called long pork.
And apparently we taste similar to pork.
Weird. What a weird world.
That's weird.
So if you're at the supermarket and you see long pork for sale,
phone the police.
Phone the police. Okay, so sightings keep going. Most of the sightings of the Warmister thing are concentrated to Christmas 1964 and January 1965. But they don't completely stop. They do kind of peter out. And even all the way up to August 10th, I think this is one of the later ones. In August 10th, a lorry driver hears some strange sounds. And above his lorry where he's driving, he sees a fiery light in the sky. And it veers towards him and then veers off. Okay, so similar to the story that you started with. So there are these lights in the sky are still involved. Do you know what a lorry is?
I think it's a truck.
Yeah, I think that's just what British people call trucks.
I believe it's a smaller truck.
It's a smaller truck?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, get a ride on a lorry. That was an Australian accent. Top of the morning, governor. All right, so I've got one more sighting here. Actually, no, I got two more sightings. Rachel Atwell is awoken by a droning sound. She sees a bright light 60 feet above the ground outside her window. She experiences extreme headaches, and then the object vanishes. Now, we've got a big one in summer 1965 near Lake Shearwater. This is southwest of Warmister. So 17 people saw this. Okay, so this is another one of those cases where a lot of people see the same.
I love those mass sightings.
It's a mass sighting. 17 people. They see a large cigar-shaped object in the sky. So this is during the day. They hear the sound, and some people are so shocked that they fall into the water. George is being weird.
That's straight up.
And the final sighting, oddly enough, is Christmas 1965. Isn't that weird?
It starts on Christmas. It ends on
And
Christmas.
it ends on Christmas. And then it kind of passes into local legend. People talk about it for decades. People are still talking about it now. There's even a memorial 50 years later. So that would have been 2005. No.
Since we are going on at the same time as AEW Rampage, we have the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros to start off with.
Got some live reporting here for you from the wrestling world. So yeah, there is. So this is, this is kind of Warminster's claim to fame. They even have a mural commemorating the 50-year anniversary of the sightings. So that would be, it wouldn't be.
It's their town's
2014. 2014.
So it's their town's claim to fame now. It's like
the Warmister thing. Yeah. Isn't it weird that it's not called the Warmister sightings?
I feel like the Brits always give it some sort of lousy name.
That's the thing. That's the Warmister thing. If you're in Warmister, though, if you're in Warmister, you just say the thing. Like, oh, I had a headache the other day. And then, oh, that's the thing. Right?
Yeah. So what I found interesting about the Christmas thing is almost like the Star of Bethlehem with the light at the beginning.
But I thought it was just a spaceship. Don't you think it's a UFO, though?
Well, it was lights that's shaped like a cross. So are they trying to pull off a Bethlehem thing, or are they trying to do a little hint at that?
Because it's Christmas, yeah. That's interesting.
Then,
okay, another interesting thing.
And they didn't want her to go to church. They were stopping her.
And they were stopping her from going to church. Okay. That is weird. It's almost like she had to pass through a force field to get to the church, right? Like she had to push up against something, kind of, right?
And the laughter, the cackling laughter. That part is the most interesting to me, is the cackling laughter. The other stuff, there's like moving things around. There's humming. But she said she felt like a shockwave come against her.
Yeah. Humming we've heard before from Skinwalker Ranch or the Stardust Ranch, I can't remember. But one of them, they would hear like it sounded like there's machines underground, right? Look at this, just minute by minute commentary. Something I was going to mention, Stonehenge. Okay, it's really close to Stonehenge. So the theory with Stonehenge, this is an ancient theory of ancient civilizations, is that there's ley lines. So these ley lines, have you ever heard of these before?
No.
So a ley line, I think it might just be British, but no, actually, I think other cultures think this too. A ley line is like a river of energy that goes through certain parts of the country, and where they meet, kind of like where rivers like fork and meet, that's where you make a structure of power like Stonehenge to do like rituals or spirits or whatever, right?
That is really interesting. So it's
and that's why, and that's, people think that this is why there's so many paranormal things that happen in Britain, because Britain apparently is crisscrossed with ley lines. Like a lot of the churches or a lot of the ancient ritual sites were always built on these ley lines, and it was like, and I don't know how people find them. I don't know if people.
Hey, look, there's a ley line.
Well, I guess you'd have to feel the energy. Maybe there's tools that they use to find them. I tried to watch some videos about them, and it was hard to get a lot of information. Mostly it was just people trying to figure out if they're real or not. But yeah.
But yeah, the cackling laughter, the sonic booms, like.
Okay, sonic booms. Here's another theory. Military testing for sonic weaponry. Do you think it might have been, because there is a military base here. We've got some officers reporting on it, but they might not have been involved with the experimental equipment. That could have been like a different part of the base, right? And they didn't tell everybody what was going on because the military does have sonic weapons for breaking up crowds.
Yeah, but you'd have to have some invisible powers too.
Well,
Go up on people's roofs and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah, like what are they shooting it from the church? You know, like it's
too crazy. I don't think it. I think it's some sort of alien or demonic thing. I don't know, but some sort of spiritual thing. I think.
And also weird that it lasted for 1 year to the day.
Christmas to Christmas. That's crazy.
Christmas to Christmas, yeah. So it's a very strange occurrence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like screw you and your Christian holiday.
Oh my God. Is it people trying to get rid of Christmas? Back in 1965, the war on Christmas started in 1964. That's how far back it goes. Wow. Yep. Unbelievable.
And they said, we're going to keep doing this unless you say happy holidays. All right. I think we are going to.
What have you been drinking? Did you drink anything for the podcast? You got to keep.
I'm drinking good old apple juice.
Wow, that looked like pee. I am drinking some beautiful herbal tea. This is how I get all my zingers. Look at this. I'm drinking wild berry zinger.
But is it caffeine free?
It's caffeine free.
It's got no zingers in it.
What are you talking about? I got a lot of zinger. Look, herbal tea. There's no caffeine in there. It's just zinger.
The zinger is the caffeine.
It's pure zinger. Okay, it's 7 o'clock at night. It's too late to drink caffeine.
Okay, so we got a new segment on the show.
Oh, let's
not a new segment. We just have a new graphic for our morals. Ask you what's the moral of the show. So this is what's going to happen before I say what's the moral of the show. I'm going to go like this. It's our knowledge of power moment.
Wow. Knowledge
so what is your knowledge of power moment? What is the moral of the story for you?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Canada Dry. It's really important when you hear a story to get a moral from it so that you can grow up to be a better person. And I think today's moral is that you should always report weird sounds and strange headaches to your local newspaper and your community. And that way people will know if there's a thing going on. And then your town could get their name on the map. And it could be the name of your town, thing. If you live in Salisbury, you could be experiencing the Salisbury thing. Maybe you live in
like food.
Moose Jaw. You're experiencing the Moose Jaw thing. Very important. Did you notice how I changed my tone of voice? This is my knowledge is power tone of voice.
Well, my knowledge of power moral of the story is this. I'm going to skip the whole Warmister thing altogether. I'm going to go straight to George's stories. It's important to all you kids out there to tell the truth. No matter how much you may think that people will like you more if you tell stories and come up with all sorts of fantasy ideas to build yourself up. But the honest truth is that people will like you just for who you are. Remember, kids, always tell the truth. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge really is power. It's true.
That's gonna make a killer clip for later.
You figure that out. I love it. It's the best graphic ever.
I love that knowledge is power moment. We needed something like that, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that like One to Grow On NBC used to do. Remember that one?
Yeah, I just remember the Teddy Ruxpin moment at the end of Teddy Ruxpin. The lesson at the end.
And I think there was. I forget it now. I don't remember what it was,
Hey,
but yeah.
Isn't there a
He-Man
new
had it.
T-shirt? A new T-shirt available to people
Starting Monday,
starting Monday.
there is a new T-shirt available. It is a Meet the Moon shirt. But check this shirt out.
Whoa!
It's Black Lives Effing Matter.
I love
And
it.
if you buy this shirt, all our profits go straight to a Black Lives Matter charity. So buy that. You're helping out people who really need it. And to buy a shirt, you go to Pro Wrestling Tees /Effing Wrestling. Visit our website, effingwrestling.com. And you'll be able to check out all our social media links, all Effing Wrestling on Twitter, all that stuff. You'll see it there. You'll figure it out. You're smart. You're smart. And Craig, what do you think?
I think it's another great show. I just got to remind everybody, let me collect my notes here. Got to remind everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and gents, keep on wrestling paranormal. Woo!
That's a zinger and a half.
This should be the. Can you make this? Can you make this the thumbnail?
No.
Wildberry zinger.
No. The thumbnail is going to be us with that thing. That's going like this. Yeah, that's the thumbnail right there.
That's a good one. That's good. I like it.
You got anything to say?
No, I don't. You don't have to prepare. I didn't prepare any post-credit content.
Look at the pets. You can talk about the pets.
Oh, the pets. You should spay and neuter your pets. Lock your doors and windows at night. Do you have anything to say?
Put your cats and tie them up. No, don't tie your cats.
What about rewinding?
Oh, yeah. Remember, when you're done watching this podcast, rewind it, or there's going to be a fee. And we get the money. So probably don't rewind it because we want the money.
Yeah, don't rewind it.
You can rewind.